very early on, we stepped forward, and I believe we were the first chamber in the state of Minnesota to call for the reopening of businesses. We had a campaign called Reopen Brainerd Lakes. It had a petition component. We had some connections with our governor, and we thought we could make a difference. So far, we've had limited success doing that, working with a lot of other chambers and business associations in the state. And in the last month or so, we've really pivoted our efforts. Rather than just focusing on the government, we've pivoted to focusing on the customer and trying to channel the tremendous amount of anger, shock, and emotion of our business community into something productive that they can control. And like I always say to our businesses, you weren't successful because you beat the government. You were successful because you won over the customer. And so that really was the building blocks of a new campaign that focuses on customer safety, and we call it Lake Country Cares. It's a broad coalition that's behind it. The chamber and 5 other chambers in our region are behind it as well as our county and city government, our 3 area healthcare providers, foundations, and the list goes on and on. And what it really is a way that we can get united around 3 best practices related to customer safety when they're in the businesses. And then there's a big marketing component as well, that we're doing marketing both to our tourists and our local residents. And then beyond that, we're harnessing the power of businesses' own marketing through free marketing materials, logos, posters, all of that. And so far, it's been very successful. We just launched it a few days ago. We've already had 70 businesses submit plans and participate in the campaign. And we think if we do it right, we're going to be recovering faster than any other community in Minnesota because we're together focusing on the customer and not just on the government. The feedback that we were getting prior to the Lake Country Cares campaign was just a lot of shock, a lot of outrage, devastation, and desperation. And in Minnesota here, we've been turning the dial slowly to get businesses back on board and back online. So, there's a lot of business certainly that are open, but all of our frontline hospitality businesses, tourism, retail, they're all limited in some capacity. And right now, a lot of them aren't open. So because it's taken so long, there's been a lot of pent up anger at our state government. So when we transitioned into this new campaign, it took some time to convince businesses that this was the right move, because what they wanted was us to file a lawsuit or stage a protest or try to get our cities to pass resolutions where they weren't going to enforce the governor's executive orders and things like that, none of which are very productive. And a lot of times they just provided a false sense of security. So that wasn't where we wanted to focus our time. But as businesses really understood that, again, like the serenity prayer, you only can focus on what you can control, and you try to have the wisdom to know the difference between those things. They started really slowly getting on board with just realizing that I can control the relationship I have with my customer, and I'm getting supported by our chamber through these marketing efforts. If we can come together and be unified behind this message, we can win. But separately, we're not going to be as effective. So the chamber does what the chambers have always done, and that is convene groups and to mobilize groups and to market really well and to leverage those relationships. And I feel like we're doing that through Lake Country Cares, the new public safety campaign around COVID-19. 48 hours after we heard about the COVID crisis really hitting our state, and we started hearing about the potential for shutdowns of the economy, it sank in fairly quickly for me that the way that we operated in the past, especially when it had to do with convening people, building relationships, and even our revenue model was going to be completely blown up, because everything that we do essentially revolved around the ability to gather people together. When it sunk in for me that we wouldn't probably be able to gather people for quite a while, indefinitely, and still don't know when that's going to happen again, we're not going to be able to deliver value the same way, and we're not going to be able to make money the same way. And so initially, the first thing that we decided to do was just focus on our mission, and all Chamber's missions are essentially the same. But our mission statement is that we strengthen businesses that strengthen our communities. Very simple, it even sounds like a tagline. But we needed to focus on the businesses. And so the lines between member and non-member were blurred. All of our services were free, everything was for the greater good of the community. And we focused on a lot of those things that I think helped businesses initially. Buying local, that's been one that everyone has had in hand in. We've done that now for 5 years, so we had a mature campaign to build off of. But people still want to connect, and they still look to the Chamber for leadership. They still look to the Chamber to bring people together and move them toward a common goal. And so that part hasn't changed. Certainly we're using technology more than we have before, just like we're doing now. I think the revenue model is yet to be determined. I don't know on that one. We're actually having a staff retreat here in a couple of days, and all we're talking about is new revenue ideas. But the core of the Chamber is the same. I feel like our value proposition is still there, but we have to find some new ways of delivering these services. The advice that I'd have for other Chamber leaders as they approach these situations, to the extent that they would need advice, because we're all learning through experience really quickly. But what I've taken away from this is that you really do have to act boldly and decisively. There's no way to know what the outcome is of these decisions. It's been said many times before, there's no playbook to follow. And, you know, some of the things that you do and say aren't going to be right. And you're going to have opportunities to shift gears. And there's a certain amount of grace that comes from just being under fire all the time. The other piece of advice that I would give to people is that we can't please everybody. I at the beginning thought that I just through my own charisma or with a magic pen, I could somehow thread the needle and get everybody on our side. And that's proven not to be the case. And as leaders, we're used to being kind of celebrated in the community. That's a hard reality to embrace, that we're going to have to choose a path and create some enemies, and maybe create some animosity. But if we're confident in that path, if our board's behind us, if we're staying true to our values, then these are the risks that we're going to have to take. And it's hard. I don't like to be personally criticized. You know, I don't like to see the comments on social media. We've actually were threatened by a person that posted themselves with assault rifles and explosive devices. We've had to turn that over to the FBI. I hope that's unique to our area, but these are tough things to deal with. And if we're just secure in where we're going, we're willing to try new things, we're willing to act boldly and decisively, that's what our communities need us to do. And right now, I think Chamber leaders are the most important leaders in communities throughout America. So we have to embrace that. We're politicians now, there's divisiveness now, and we have to be okay with not being able to please people all the time, but still to be able to act serving our members and pursuing the greater good.